scheduled Evans City Council meeting for Tuesday, January 6, 2026. My name is Mark Clark. Call the meeting to order. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mayor Clark.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Pletka.
Here.
Councilmember Johnson.
Present.
Councilmember Neal.
Present.
Councilmember Crabtree.
Here.
Councilmember Delaney.
Here.
Councilmember Fair.
Here. All right, next item on our agenda is audience participation. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to address City Council on any item that's not on the agenda and or of a public hearing? If so, please step forward to the podium, state your name and address for the record. All right, seeing none. All right, we'll move on. Approval of the agenda. Madam Clerk, any changes to the agenda?
No, Mayor.
All right, I'd entertain a motion. All right, I have a motion, a second to approve the agenda. All right, and that motion carries 7-0. All right, next item on the agenda is approved consent agenda. Any changes or anything that anybody wants to discuss on council regarding the consent agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion. All right, I have a motion, a second to approve the consent agenda. All right, and that motion carries 7-0. All right, moving on, new business, item number 7A, consideration of a site improvement agreement.
Just real quick, sorry, I think we do have audience participation with our folks from Allo. Bob, are you wanting to speak to the council?
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
come on up then, never mind, all right.
All right, how you doing? I'm John Serber. I work for Allo. I'm the outside construction manager, and wanted to present the council and the mayor with an award tonight from us. But before I do that, I want to tell you a little bit about our network and what we built for you. Okay, in Evans, Allo Fiber has built a long-term fiber network focused on reliability and minimal community impact. The network passes about 9,000 addresses, covers nearly all the town limits, includes over 1.8 million feet of fiber that we laid down, and about 80 miles of our route, and is more than 88% underground, which gives better aesthetics and more reliability. This network enables a fast, reliable internet connection, mobile phone service, direct TV streaming, and phone systems and advanced cybersecurity solutions supporting your residents, your businesses, and then economic growth across the entire community. Allo Fiber intentionally uses centralized network design. This keeps critical equipment in secure facilities and not throughout the neighborhoods. This results in fewer failure points, faster restoration, and less future construction in the right-of-way. The network is also built to support future technologies, including AI-driven applications and emerging quantum network capabilities. This positions Evans for the next generation of innovation. Allo Fiber sincerely thanks the City Council, city staff, and residents on their patience during the construction process. This disruption is now behind us. The long-term benefits are now in place for the whole community. And at this time, I'd like to invite the City Council to come forward and present a certificate in recognition of your partnership with Allo Fiber and the City of Evans.
So we have to have you two shaking hands with the plaque and with the certificate of construction completion. John, you have to be right in the middle there with the mayor. This is perfect. On three, 1, 2, 3, and on 3 again, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I think I've got one.
Awesome. Great. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
No, thank you very much for I was just waiting for it to come out. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that award. We really appreciate your commitment to Evans and everything that you do. It's great to have you in our community. You've been a great partner, so thank you. We really appreciate it. All right. All right, next on our agenda, new business 7A, consideration of a site improvement agreement with O'Reilly's Auto Enterprise LLC. We'll turn it over to staff.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Michael Hall, City Planner. For your consideration this evening is the site improvements agreement associated with a new O'Reilly Auto Parts store. This SIA is between the City of Evans and the developer O'Reilly Auto Enterprises LLC. The project was originally conditionally approved by an administrative site plan in July of 2025. The applicant has since been working with city staff on addressing the conditions of approval of the staff report, primarily related to engineering topics and the subject site improvement agreement terms. Approval of this agreement does satisfy one of those conditions of approval of the staff report. For reference, the site is zone C2, which is our general commercial zone district. The site is approximately 1.3 acres and is currently being platted by a concurrent replat or a minor subdivision application that the applicant also has in with the city. The site is located east of and adjacent 23rd Avenue and directly north of the existing Sinclair gas station on 37th Street. The replat that I mentioned, it is splitting that lot. It's a vacant lot right now. It's the one directly across from kind of the Roma's shopping area. But that lot is being split into two, so this will be on the northernmost lot, and then the southern lot will be vacant and could be used for other future commercial businesses. Regarding the agreement itself, Exhibit C contains a list of the developer's public improvement obligations. The developer will be responsible for domestic water, sanitary sewer, storm sewer, access, sidewalk, and other miscellaneous improvements. For example, there's a bus stop that needs to be slightly shifted. The developer does anticipate that the improvements and construction will occur in 2026 with a completion date of fall of 2026. The SA has been signed out by the developer and is currently held by the city clerk. Regarding financials, no contribution from the city is required for this agreement. The site improvement agreement will not have an impact to the city. Under the agreement, the developer is required to submit a letter of credit or cash for the developer improvements in two stages. The first stage is the performance guarantee, which requires 115% of the overall public improvement amount. For reference, the public improvement amount is around $263,000, with that 115% being around $303,000. This amount will be released following initial acceptance of the public improvements following city inspection. Following this initial acceptance, the second stage begins, being the warranty guarantee, which is just a 15% of that same original public improvement cost, which is around $39,000. And then this amount would be released following the final acceptance after a 2-year warranty period. Staff recommends approval of the site improvement agreement. Happy to answer any questions. And then the applicant's representative, Joe Nacarado, is available virtually should you have any questions.
Great, thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. Any questions and/or comments of staff and/or of the applicant if you wish to ask any questions? Looks like Councilmember Crabtree. Yep, Councilmember Crabtree. Go ahead.
Hey, just a quick question for you. What's the commercial setback for that residential?
What was the what?
What's the commercial setback for the commercial to that residential?
So on the back side there,
Yeah.
I can briefly take a
On
look
that side.
at that for you.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Michael.
So that is where they're having all their buffer area, and toward the back on the north side and the east side, that's where their landscaping and their drainage area is. But on the non-residential side rear, that's going to be 20 feet from a structure on a commercial use lot to the property line shared with a residential use lot.
So a 20-foot setback between the residential and that commercial building.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
Thank you. Any other additional questions and/or comments? Go ahead and submit mine.
I have a comment.
I'll let you go ahead and go first. Go ahead, Councilmember Johnson.
Sorry, it
No, you're fine. You're good.
it kicked me.
You're fine.
I just wanted to say that it's great that we're getting something in that lot. It's been a long time coming, so it's exciting to see that a business is going there, and hopefully the next lot will also get filled now that O'Reilly's is going in there.
Oh,
So
certainly.
that's great. So thank you.
Thank you.
Mine was going to be the same exact thing, so I'm done. Councilmember Neal.
Well, it's coming it's coming about 46 years too late for me to utilize the place. So, but I'm sure glad that we're getting another weedy field filled in with something that's constructive and is beneficial to the community.
Certainly. Thank you.
All right, seeing no other questions and or comments, I would entertain a motion. I have a motion and a second to approve the site improvements agreement with O'Reilly Enterprises LLC for the O'Reilly's Auto Parts site plan and authorize the mayor to sign the agreement.
Oh my goodness.
And that motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Council.
All right, next item, item number 7B, consideration of ordinance number 856-26, Atmos Energy Corporation franchise agreement, and we will hear from staff.
Good evening, Ty Boreski, Public Works and Utilities Director. Today I'm presenting on an Atmos Energy Corporation franchise agreement for your consideration. We recently shared with council that there were some Atmos Energy projects happening through the city. As part of our routine permit review, the engineering team uncovered that the current franchise agreement had expired as of June of this year, this past year. So as part of the kind of routine activity associated with permit review, we moved really quickly to get this franchise agreement renewed. So this is a 20-year agreement, effective, it would be 3 days after the second reading, just based on the filing, and consists of the same terms as the previous agreement with a 5% franchise fee. We do have a representative from Atmos. Alex is here if we have any questions for them. She can take the podium, but otherwise it's pretty cut and dry and would extend through 2046. Thank you.
Thank you, Ty. Appreciate it. Any questions or comments of staff or from the representative from Atmos Energy? Seeing none, I would entertain a motion. All right, I have a motion, a second, to approve ordinance number 856-26, authorizing the proposed franchise agreement with Atmos Energy Corporation. And that motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Ty. Appreciate it. All right, next on our agenda is reports. City Manager.
Yes, Mayor and Council, I have a number of things for you tonight to kind of set the stage for 2026 as we move forward. However, before I jump into that, I do want to extend my sincerest appreciation to the folks from Allo for coming in and developing their infrastructure here in Evans. That has been a very critical part to our economic development. To be able to have that competition and to improve telecommunications within our community goes a long way in the residential and the commercial development that we're seeking. So, Allo, thank you very much. I appreciate your interest in the city of Evans. For the upcoming year, I've tasked our department directors with a series of projects that will build off the progress that we've made over the last couple of years. To continue to work towards the City Council's goals for improved economic resiliency, but to continue our goals for the evolution of Evans into the community of choice here in Northern Colorado. I'm going to start this out with a capital improvement program. So we will launch a formal capital improvement program that will first establish capital improvement plan to identify and prioritize deferred maintenance through the city. This will ensure that through the entire community, to ensure that we are just really trying to get our hands around all the deferred maintenance. The capital improvement plan will serve as the strategy that will tell us what infrastructure will be built, fixed, or replaced, and when. This is a critical first step as we move forward in addressing our infrastructure. So my primary participants in this project will be the Director of Engineering, who started yesterday. I'm excited to have him on board. I think I forgot to tell him to be here tonight, so I'll introduce you at the next meeting. Director of Engineering, the Director of Public Works and Utilities, the Director of Economic Development, Planning Commission, and the Water and Sewer Board. As I go through these projects, you're going to hear a series of directors that will collaborate on this, but you'll also see that I'm bringing in the Finance Committee. I'm bringing in the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee, Water and Sewer Board, and Planning Commission, so we can get that well-rounded input as we're moving forward with foundational plans. With the capital improvement program, we'll also use that capital improvement plan to overhaul our capital budgeting process. This will create a practical near and long-term financial plan to address infrastructure deficiencies. The capital improvement plan and the capital budget will also be used to research and pursue grant opportunities to supplement funding availability and reduce the financial burden on Evans utility customers and taxpayers. My intention with this is to minimize emergency expenditures and on our operations budget and provide better stability to our budget. Primary participants: Chief Financial Officer, Director of Engineering, Director of Public Works, and the Finance Committee. With that, and this kind of plays into some of the other conversations that we've had, but I've tasked Brian with developing an economic development incentive policy, comprehensive economic development incentive policy to formalize the city's position and interest in offering incentives for economic development projects. The intention is to eliminate uncertainty that can arise during economic development negotiations and prevent staff from having to navigate these discussions each time a request is made without knowing the legislative intent, the desires of the City Council. The incentive policy shall include specific water policies to establish guidelines for the usage of the city's water bank, aligning the use of the water bank with the City Council's goals, objectives, and expectations for economic development. That way we can put that water to use for projects that, 5, 10, 20 years down the road create a more robust and resilient Evans. This policy will supersede the original policy proposed when the water bank was established a few years ago. Primary participants for this, I envision the Director of Economic Development, Chief Financial Officer, Director of Public Works and Utilities, and the Finance Committee. Moving forward, a couple years ago, you guys made a substantial investment in our sign shop. We established the sign shop to be able to go through and really start to change out what our community looks like. So over the past couple of years, City of Evans has made a substantial investment in the equipment and resources needed to replace all traffic and street signs throughout the community to ensure our signage is compliant with MUTCD requirements. We will develop a comprehensive multi-year plan that details the city's approach to achieving citywide compliance with retroreflectivity. This will improve not only the aesthetics of our traffic and street signs, but also the safety of our streets with greater visibility. In later phases of the sign replacement, I'd also like to incorporate wayfinding signs throughout the community that will direct public to key facilities throughout Evans, including our various parks, the community complex, Riverside Library. This I envision really being directed by the Director of Public Works and Utilities. A similar project will be the park sign replacement, going through and eliminating all the damaged, destroyed, and outdated signs, but also going through and removing signs that do not have any correlation to the city code. There's a lot of rules and regulations that have been posted in the parks, but really do not have any justification back to our city code, i.e. piñatas, right? So being able to go through, remove those signs from our park system, add new, fresh signs that really have that aesthetic appeal. My intent is to align park usage with rules established through the democratic process and minimize signage in the parks to create an environment where our green space and playgrounds can be utilized by our citizens without being overly restrictive. Director of Public Works and Utilities and the Parks and Recreation Advisory Board will be involved with that. I'm throwing another project Ty's way. That'll be stormwater operations and maintenance plan. A couple of years ago, you guys invested nearly $1 million in the rehabilitation of Chapello Pond. Also, various basins throughout the community, various parks. Want to have an O&M plan so we know that on a routine, on an annual basis, we're going through and we're cleaning out the pre-sedimentation basin, that we're cleaning out the discharges, that we're mowing down the weeds and the tall vegetation, removing the trees to keep that stormwater infrastructure working efficiently. These basins in our parks, they are not there to collect trees. They are there to collect stormwater, and we need to maintain those accordingly. That'll be the Director of Public Works and the Water and Sewer Board working on that. Similarly, you guys may be aware that we've got two massive repairs going on the ditch right now. 49th Street, which is coming along rather well, and then 42nd Street, which we will be bidding out for construction here in the next couple of weeks. Part of what I want to do is I want to get an operations and maintenance plan established for the Evans Ditch so we know what are we maintaining and to what level are we maintaining it. I want to look at automation to where we can eliminate staff from having to constantly go out and check head gates and make sure that we've got the right components in place to make sure we're getting our flow of water as declared in our decree. Another big project, financial impact statements. Projects happen throughout the year that are not budgeted. I've tasked Jackie with going through and creating a financial impact statement. That way the department directors can go through and identify a plan to address unbudgeted items without having to really guess how are we going to fund this. And if we have to make changes in our funding plan, then what does that look like? What are we taking from to take care of these unbudgeted items? And that helps me communicate better with the city council. I know that through the budgeting process, city council identifies priorities, but sometimes we have to make changes to those priorities, so this will help us do that. Towards the end of 2025, the city of Evans started working on 2 projects that will continue into 2026 before reaching completion later this year. The first was the Evolution of Evans Strategic Plan. This started in 2025. The city of Evans began working with Barry Dunn to complete the 5-year strategic plan that will develop our roadmap for near-term growth and development, focusing on specific areas that are expected to best achieve the city council's goals for the community. This will ensure that legislative expectations and daily operations are aligned to achieve a common purpose. We're making good progress on that. Our consultant is planning to be back towards the end of February. I believe the 24th and 25th of February. One of those days, they do want to meet with the city council again as that check-in as we go through the planning process. I believe that will be an off Tuesday. So we'll have to make plans for that. I'll send out some more information to the city councils so you guys can plan accordingly and make sure that we don't have any conflicts with that time. Curtis, our assistant to the city manager, is project manager for that, and then I'm helping him with that project as well. We also started a project, the City of Evans ADA Transition Plan. In December 2025, we began working with Mile High Accessibility Consultants to develop an ADA transition plan to ensure that our public facilities and our programs are compliant with Title II of the Americans with Disabilities Act. This is an important piece. This is an important plan to make sure that our community is accessible, that our sidewalks, that our ramps, that our buildings, that all of our facilities, but also our recreational programming is compliant with the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. This is being managed by our safety and risk manager, Kurt Badette. I'm about halfway through, so just give me a few more minutes. So beginning in early 2026, we will also focus efforts on the following projects to continue making progress on the rehabilitation of critical infrastructure. I've gone over these with the Director of Engineering and put these on his radar as well. So the design of the 49th Street reconstruction, with the recent indefinite extension of the 1% Roadhead Street sales tax, the engineering department will begin developing the project scope for the reconstruction of 49th Street from Industrial Parkway to 65th Avenue. We know that's about a 4.5 mile stretch, very significant project. They're in the process right now of identifying the scope that will include not only the new driving surface, but will also include an evaluation of underground utilities and stormwater improvements to properly convey stormwater runoff from surrounding agricultural fields to prevent damage to the finished project, our product. Once the scope has been fully defined, engineering will issue an RFP to select a design engineering consultant. We'll bring that contract back to the City Council probably second quarter 2026 for consideration for approval. Design of 37th Street Phase 3 out at 65th Avenue. We talked about this on December 16th, having to go back and take another look at that intersection. So following that work session, staff has already reached out and canceled the existing contract pursuant to the terms of the contract. That is now finished. So now what we're doing is we are working on a scope of services that will then be translated into an RFP and again issued to bring on a new design engineering consultant. Again, I'm expecting second quarter 2026 to bring a contract to you guys for consideration. This is an important project that we get moving into design because we've got to have it awarded in 2027 to preserve a $1.5 million grant for that component of the project. So engineering staff's working on that. Again, Director of Engineering will head that up. Design of streetlights for 37th Street Phase 1, 2A, and 2B. Now that we've got the reconstruction largely finished between 35th and 47th Avenue, street lights will be next. We'll go through and we'll design that. They're working on the scope right now, identifying spacing and all the important parts of that scope. And again, we'll issue an RFP to get that design engineering consultant selected. Again, most likely second quarter 2026. February 3rd, we're going to have a work session. The engineering team, public works team, they're currently finishing up some homework on this, but I'm going to bring back to you guys the East Side Storm Sewer Project and the State Street Sanitary Sewer Project so we can have that discussion. As I mentioned to you guys before, we are finishing the scope for the State Street Sanitary Sewer. However, this dates back to August 20th, 2024. The City Council approved the construction agreement with BT Construction to construct the East Side Storm Sewer underneath the Union Pacific Railroad tracks in the vicinity of 35th Street and State Street. Project was paused while procurement questions with the nearby State Street Sanitary Sewer Project were evaluated. Now that I have new engineering staff in place, multiple meetings were conducted with the consulting engineers for both projects to better understand the scope and the history of each project. It is my opinion that the State Street Sanitary Sewer project is the most critical in this area. It will upsize an existing 8-inch sewer main to a 12-inch sewer main and provide additional hydraulic capacity to support growth and development at the Evans Junction, which obviously we know is at the southwest corner of 31st Street and Highway 85. Without the improvements over the long term, additional growth will result in hydraulic failures. So we've got some time, but we need to get this in place so we can recognize the benefit of additional growth. Obviously, if we have the hydraulic failures, that'll have to be managed, coordinated with CDPHE, and so getting this designed and constructed is certainly in our best interest. The East Side Storm Sewer Project, on the other hand, will not add value to the community if constructed, in my opinion, as the project will construct a storm sewer pipe under the railroad tracks that will be capped on both ends and buried until sometime in the future when the city can connect the buried pipe to the South Platte River. As city manager, I cannot recommend a project like that when we've got deferred maintenance through the entire community and we've got glaring projects that need to be addressed now. Let's see, the approximate timing in which the East Side Storm Sewer Project could be completed in its entirety is unknown due to significant amount of deferred maintenance. As a result, I've directed engineering to prepare a stormwater model to evaluate other projects in which the funds could be reallocated to provide immediate benefit to the community. We're looking at hydraulic modeling, stormwater modeling on the east side of town, but also to include other areas such as the Willowbrook Detention Pond that we know a substantial portion of the community does drain to. So engineering is evaluating the results of that stormwater model, and we'll be able to bring that information back on February 3rd to have a more in-depth conversation. I will be looking, based on the outcome of that, the results of that stormwater modeling, I will be looking for council direction at that time to reallocate those SRF funds, state revolving funds, for stormwater to these other projects that I think will be more beneficial to the long-term development of our community. Let's see, the primary participants in that, obviously the Director of Public Works and Utilities, Director of Engineering, myself, and the Chief Financial Officer at this point, as we go through and evaluate the practicality of these projects, but also the funding mechanisms. Lastly, I meant to share this with you in previous meetings, but I'd like to recognize the efforts of Dan Carpeel, our communications specialist. So the city has been designated a neighborhood favorite by users on the social media platform Nextdoor. The city was voted by local users, predominantly private citizens, as one of the most loved local entities on the Nextdoor platform in our geographic region. This designation can be given to businesses, nonprofit organizations, and publicly supported entities such as municipal government, school districts, libraries, etc. According to a letter sent by Nextdoor co-founder and CEO Nirav Talia, this means that the local community is actively recommending us at a higher frequency relative to other public and private entities in the region. It is a strong sign of trust and support in our organization and the work that we do in serving the community. Next to Facebook, Nextdoor is our second most followed social media channel with more than 8,000 followers. I'd like to congratulate Communication Specialist Dan Carpeel for achieving this recognition and for actively engaging with the public on social media to keep our community duly informed of all the good things that we are doing here at the City of Evans. Mr. Mayor, that is all I have for tonight. What I want to highlight, this is very ambitious. There's a lot of stuff going on here, but I really see these items as foundational and as essential to continue the evolution of Evans into the community of choice here in Northern Colorado. So I'm deeply excited about what this year will bring. I know there's going to be a lot of engagement with the City Council. There's going to be a lot of engagement with the Finance Committee, Parks and Recreation, Planning Commission, Water and Sewer Board. But all this work is stuff that has been identified, and I've had communications with the executive team about the importance of these plans and these documents to help push us forward and continue to make Evans to help make Evans just, quite frankly, the best town here in the Northern Colorado region. So I'm deeply excited with that. Mr. Mayor, that's all I have. I'll yield back to council.
Great, thank you, Cody. I appreciate it. Yes, 2025 was a great year, and all those projects and everything that you just mentioned in your report is going to make us even better in 2026 and forward after that. So I want to thank you and all your staff for all your hard work and efforts to making this a great community. We really appreciate your efforts. So thank you, and kudos to everybody on the staff for that as well.
Thank you.
Councilmember Neal, yep.
Cody, I have a question. Is staff still confident that upsizing this to a 12-inch will still meet our potential demands?
Or State Street?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going from an 8-inch main to a 12-inch main, you're adding a significant amount of hydraulic capacity. That's certainly something that we'll expect our design engineers to evaluate as well. But I think 12-inch, that's a good size main.
Thank you.
All right, yeah, you can sit, yeah.
Thank you for this. This is fantastic, and I echo what was mentioned. For the ditch component, I know you were discussing, automation and all that. I think that's fantastic. One of the things that I think I would like to also see is really like looking into the erosion of the ditch area, just to ensure that that is part of like the maintenance, that we're constantly looking at it, just to ensuring that it's staff can easily travel it.
Right.
Just because when we did go, there's a potential that in the future that might not be the case. So I just want to make sure that when we consider the ditch and all that it encompasses, that we're considering those components as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Erosion easily causes blowouts. It increases pressure inside the ditch. Trees are another big part of it. Trees, there's areas where we need to remove trees to prevent the roots from infiltrating, and damaging the integrity of the ditch. So yeah, I completely agree with you. There's a lot of areas that we need to be looking at that. And the unfortunate reality is the two repairs that we have in work right now, it's tip of the iceberg. We've got a lot of work left to do on that ditch. And that'll be an important part where Ty and Shantanu can work together from a public works perspective and an engineering perspective, really evaluate what are our needs from that infrastructure and really start to put these plans together. We've never had these O&M plans, and it's time that changes, because we do have a significant responsibility to make sure that our infrastructure is not only safe, but also functional for those that depend on the services provided.
Agreed. Thank you.
Great, thank you. City Attorney.
Thank you. Briefly here. On December 22nd, the Colorado Supreme Court issued an opinion based on the challenges of two criminal defendants in Aurora and Westminster, respectively. Their names were Camp and Simmons. And the defendants did a direct challenge under Colorado Appellate Rule 21 to the Supreme Court, saying, I'm facing greater penalties in municipal court than I would face if I were in county court under state law. Both of those cities impose jail time. We don't. However, what the Supreme Court decided was that the state law does preempt the municipality's ability to impose maximum fines. And so the maximum fines under state law, if there's an identical criminal offense in the municipal code, are the maximum fines in the municipal court. What I think that the best response for that is to have an amended order from the municipal judge, which I've prepared for his consideration, and an advisement so that criminal defendants are advised. This affects fewer than 5% of the cases that we prosecute. It doesn't affect traffic. It does raise broader concerns for home rule authority, but we'll have to see what the Supreme Court does in future cases going forward. I think what it is that the Supreme Court wants municipal courts to look exactly like state courts, and that's probably where it will end. CML is very concerned about it. I don't think it has a tremendous effect on us, and we'll just have to see how this rolls out going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item. Council discussion. I wanted to mention that Councilmember Crabtree, I really appreciate you wanting to step up and serve on the MPO. I know that you wind up having a conflict on the first Thursday of each month when that MPO meeting takes place. I wanted to maybe ask either maybe Councilmember Delaney or Councilmember Fair if they would be interested in possibly serving on the MPO. The meeting is the first Thursday of the month, and you can do it online, or you can travel to the different locations around the county, including up to Fort Collins as well. I don't know if you have any time. It's 6 o'clock. It usually goes from 6 p.m. to it's finished as early as 6:30, and it's gone as long as 8:30. I don't know if that would be something that you would be interested in doing, or you. I just wanted to ask anybody on council, especially those who's going to be on council for a little while, because it does take a little bit of time to get up to speed on everything, and it's a good big learning curve. Or no, I mean, if you can't do it,
Go to you, but I'm fine with that. The TMO's at I think at 4:30 on the first Thursday, so I would just make a evening of those meetings, unless you had.
Yeah, no,
strong
that
desire.
makes sense.
Yeah. I'll do
okay,
it.
And
all right, awesome.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no problem. Then I will let them know and then get the information sent out to you, and I'll remain on as the alternate, and just in case you can't make it or some kind of conflict came up and everything. But I appreciate you stepping up. I do appreciate it. But that's all I have. Anybody else? Councilmember Johnson.
Every time I do that, what I wanted to bring up was kind of going back to the signs. I know I had brought this up some time ago in regards to native grasses, and I wasn't certain if we were going to wait for a strategic plan, but considering that we're going to, start to replace signs, one of the things that I proposed was, I know throughout the city we have native grasses in specific areas, so considering or proposing placing signs in those areas that have native grasses, a sign stating this is native grass. I think that would be advantageous for the city, so people are aware of why the grass is slightly longer in specific areas, and so it's visible, it's understood, and there's a reason why that specific grass was selected for that specific area or the purpose of. So I just wanted to bring that forward again to see if we can start doing that throughout the city, especially now since we are starting to change signs out.
I'm good with that.
Awesome, perfect. Thank you.
Educational part.
Yeah, so if we can add that to the sign shop list of things that they're changing, it would be fantastic. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem.
I wanted to thank the people from Allo for being here tonight. I've been able to work with them from a business standpoint mostly, and your people are on top of it. And I just forgot her name, but the young lady that does activities, she is on top of it for my residents and my property. In fact, we've got one planned, I want to say, for the 26th of this month. And I've got to say, of all the businesses that offer that service in the area, you guys are the steady, always coming in, checking on us, making sure our people are taken care of. It is appreciated, and I do see the hard work that you all are putting in every day. And thank you for coming here tonight. So that's all I wanted to say.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Neal.
Yes, I had received, and I think Cody's getting this taken care of, finally, the 30th Street warranty repair.
The what? Sorry?
The 30th Street 37th Street warranty repair.
Oh, okay.
That's not been done yet. Getting some pushback from a few people that are wondering why it wasn't completed with the rest of the construction there. And the other thing is, we haven't received an update. We were getting, I think it was quarterly updates on the motel situation. And I think I'd like to have that continued. If not on a quarterly basis, at least on a semi-annually basis. It seems like that problem is getting better, but we haven't been updated on it for some time now.
If I recall correctly on that, there was quarterly updates while the problem persisted, and I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we decided, since most of those problems were resolved, unless it started back up again, then they would start reporting back to us and keeping the council informed. If you want to go back to them, we can ask the rest of the council, but I would say that unless a problem arises, and it sounds like most of the stuff at the hotels have mostly been addressed, maybe just keep it as is. I mean, what's the rest of the council think on that? Some of you that haven't been on council for a while, we used to get, used to be monthly, and then it went to quarterly about a lot of the activities that we had going on in the hotels and all the police activities and everything that was going on. So the police would update us regularly of, hey, this is how many calls we've had, this is what the type of calls we've had. Just keeping us informed of what the businesses were doing in that area to kind of help work with the city and work with the police to keep transients, drugs, et cetera, at a minimum. That way, if something could arise, the council could possibly take action. As that kind of, they started working with the city and working with the police, those activities have kind of dropped off quite a bit. And we decided, hey, until there's something significant happening, we don't need to be updated as much, or just if it picks up again, start bringing it back to us.
So he already anticipated what's about to come out of my mouth. I sure would love to hear what the chief thinks about it. You moved from the back of the room to the front, and I was like, good man.
Read his mind.
So the hotels are still concerned. They're one of our top calls for service locations within the city. I'll be happy to update council as often as you'd like. So at your direction, I'll update you as often as you'd like.
Anybody have any semi-annually, quarterly? What would be your preference if that's the direction you want to go?
Do we need to be updated?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think we do.
I don't think so either.
I think if it's something that's, as you mentioned, significant, then yes.
Yeah.
Or if it's egregious.
If the calls for service are starting to rise considerably, I think we should be updated on that.
Yeah, I would leave it up to the chief and his
I would also leave it up to the chief. If he felt like it needed to being brought to our attention, you would bring it to our attention.
Right.
I'll work with the city manager to get you an update within the next 4 weeks or so.
Sure.
And then we can move from there at whatever direction you'd like.
Sounds good.
I would like to just know if it's a fire.
I mean, even if a memo, like an email, like it doesn't have to, you know.
The issue, calls for service is a managerial. It's not a legislative, it's not a policy issue.
Right.
I can provide that information for you, whether it's quarterly or semi-annually, whatever you'd like. But rest assured, if something egregious enough is happening there, you know anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh.
I make it a point, if I hear from him, and it's not compromising the integrity of an investigation, then I get it to you as well, just kind of as a, hey, FYI, this is what's going on.
And you've been great at that.
Yeah, we'll
Pardon
leave
me?
that to your
Great at that.
discretion.
Thank you.
I get us, yeah,
I agree with all
keep it as
that.
informed.
At your discretion.
Okay.
Cool.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Johnson, again.
All right, I just wanted to say Happy New Year to everyone, and thank you, Aloe, for the recognition. That's fantastic. But I also wanted to recognize Dan. I wanted to clap for him because that's amazing. Great job. I know he's back there. I think he is. Is he in the room? Congrats, Dan. Yay. Right on. That's amazing. It's fantastic. You know, ever since we got him on as part of the team, he's been doing great work, especially with social media and engaging the community, which is what we needed, and it's been fantastic. So kudos to you. Well deserved. That's all I have.
Awesome. Seeing nothing else for the good of the order, I'll call the meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.